rest in peace. Because you have reached Red Steele's Historical Review. I'm your man, Red Steele. And happy Halloween, everyone, because I have a very special review, because I'll be reviewing from WWE Ultimate Edition, The Undertaker. WWE Ultimate Edition Undertaker. But before I get to the actual review, I just want to go over some of the spectacular details on this packaging. Up front, here's two display windows showing you both the figure and all the accessories inside. On the top here, you have Undertaker. In the corner here, you have the 8+, which is the age requirement for this figure. Then down here, you have the WWE Ultimate Edition logo. Corner here, you have the Mattel emblem. And along the bottom here, it says Ultimate Articulation for authentic posability. Then on top of the packaging here, you have the WWE Ultimate Edition logo along with Undertaker. Then on the side of the packaging here, over here you have the WWE Ultimate Edition logo, and along the side here it says Undertaker. Then on the very bottom here you have the WWE Legends logo. Then on the other side of the packaging here, on the very top, you have the WWE Legends logo. And over here you have a profile shot of the Undertaker, and down here it says Undertaker. On the back of the packaging here, in the very corner you have a holographic sticker that says Official Licensed Product. Then over here you have an actual picture of the figure. In the middle here you have WWE Legends and Undertaker. Below that you have an actual picture of the Undertaker. Then over here you have a profile that says the Undertaker is 6 feet 10 inches tall. He hails from Death Valley. His finisher is the Tombstone and career highlight World Heavyweight Champion. Then over here you have a caption that reads, Undertaker always casts a shadow that loomed large, but from 2007 through 2010, WWE was draped in his darkness. He won his first Royal Rumble match, won back-to-back World Heavyweight Championships at WrestleMania, and had the greatest match in WrestleMania history before collecting another World Heavyweight Championship. Throughout his time, the entire WWE locker room would rest in peace. Then down here the Mattel emblem, and next to that it says empowering the next generation through play. WWE Ultimate Edition Undertaker. Undertaker was released on July 21st, 2024 with the suggested retail price of $32.99, and he was available exclusively at Target. Undertaker has over 30 points of articulation for true-to-life authentic posability. His accessories include his authentic entrance gear, World Championship title, 2 swappable heads, and 4 swappable hands. Undertaker stands 6 inches tall, and he is meant for fans ages 8 and up. Now that I have Undertaker on my display table, so we'll go over some of his plate features and accessories. First, by talking about his swappable heads. And you can get 2 of these swappable heads. You get one where he's kind of doing the Undertaker eyes with the tongue sticking out. And you get one right here where he's kind of grimacing or grinning. Very, very nice detail in the head sculpt. I mean, you look really closely. I'm not sure if my camera can get in there close enough. But I mean, right now Mattel is using a face scan technology where they're scanning the face and they're actually molding it to perfection where it matches the face detail perfectly. I mean, you see how detailed you get the creases between the eyebrows right there, the forearm creases. I mean, this is Undertaker through and through. Very nicely done. Really nice paint detail. They painted the teeth here. Even the lips have a slight different color variation. I mean, even with the head sculpt, you got the hair here sculpted, or it's molded out of like a rubbery plastic. It looks like a brown plastic, you know. And what they did is they had it attached to the sculpt. So this is actually a different sculpt or different mold. So it's a mold detail that's painted over. Only part that has any paint detail is the sideburns here, but it blends perfectly because I know Mattel's had issue with molded hair detail, and it just doesn't look right on certain figures like Bret Hart and Randy Savage, but they nailed it with The Undertaker. Very nicely done. With this other head sculpt here, You have the Undertaker doing his tongue thing and his eyeball thing, where he kind of like his pupils like disappear, and they actually got that perfectly, and they nailed it with this head sculpt. Very nicely done, and this is when he kind of fires up and he's about to finish his opponent. Very cool head sculpt, lots of great detail. I have a little smut right there, and I think that's not intentional. I think it just maybe it's something from the mold, or maybe it's just paint detail, but that's not intentional right there, and I don't think every Undertaker has that little smudge right there. But very nicely done. At the bottom of each one of these head sculpts, you'll see a little ball socket port right there. That is because at the top of his neck, he's got a ball socket joint. And in order to interchange these heads, just pop it right out just like that. You have a ball socket joint. Again, you take that ball socket port in the bottom of the head. You take it so that ball socket goes in there, and you pop it right into place, and you hear that satisfying pop. Very, very cool. Because the next accessory I want to go ahead and bring in, of course, if you're going to get a collectible figure, you're going to expect interchangeable hands or swappable hands. And these swappable hands are pretty cool because you get 4 of them. You get 2 open hand, you get 2 fists. And what's really cool is they really nailed that Undertaker glove detail. They pull in the open hand detail. It's very nicely done. You can see it simulates that whole puffy fighter's glove thing. Lots of great detail. You get the little separation or the little wrinkle in between each digit. You have fingernail detail. Mattel really puts a lot of love in their figures, and there's a lot of detail in these figures. In order to swap out these hands, all you have to do is take the hand, you pop it out by the wrist. What you have there at the end of the hand, you have a peg that's kind of tapered at the end, and at the end of the wrist you have a porthole. So if you want to interchange any of his hands, all you have to do is take that peg, put it right in that wrist, and just pop it right into place to hear that little click. And now you have Undertaker with his interchangeable or swappable hands. But I'm going to put those off to the side, because the next accessory I want to go ahead and bring in is the World Heavyweight Championship. Very nicely done. And this is the big gold. I think that's the nickname they have for it. It's called the World Heavyweight Championship. It has a lot of great mold detail. You have the WWE insignia on the very top. You have World Heavyweight Champion. World Heavyweight Wrestling Champions, what the belt says. Fortunately, they didn't put Undertaker on a nameplate, but they have a lot of great detail. And they have even like the red little jewels around the edge of the belt. Very nicely done. You get that mold detail here and here also. In order to put the belt on the Undertaker, you have the strap right here. You got these pegs and you got these portholes. You just take this belt, you put it around Undertaker's waist. And of course, the side with the pegs you want down. You want to pull the other strap over it so it pegs right into place just like that. And I managed to get all 4 pegs into that porthole. And now you have Undertaker with his World Heavyweight Championship belt. Very, very cool. And this belt has a lot of history behind it. And it's just really cool that, I could finally complete my belt collection, because at one point in time, I'll have every single belt, because the Ultimate Edition is producing a lot of champions. And it's really cool that they kind of tend to more cater to the older fans, the fans that are really into the WWE Legends, because, more so a lot of the Ultimate Edition figures pertain to a lot of the Legends, which I think is really, really cool. Because the next accessory I want to go ahead and bring in is this trademark trench coat. And this has like a pleathery feel to it. And I'm glad they went this route as opposed to like a lot of the other figures that have like leather jackets or any sort of jackets. They give you an extra set of arms that you interchange, and you just put the vest over it and you pop the arms in so it simulates an actual jacket. Well, Mattel has a lot of experience dealing with soft goods. And a soft good is anything that's soft, cloth-wise or clothing-wise, that come with action figures or dolls. So this is a soft good, and I'm really glad they went the option where it's an actual jacket, so you just put the Undertaker in, one sleeve at a time, like you would a real jacket. You just take this jacket. This jacket's really cool because, it has that, like I said, that texture where it does look like a leather jacket. And this kind of looks really cool on the Undertaker. Very, very cool, especially with the Heavyweight Championship. And I love this version of The Undertaker, one of my favorite generations of The Undertaker. Undertaker over the years, he's been around since 1990, and he survived almost 30 plus years in the ring. And of course, over time, his gimmick's gonna transition to other gimmicks, and it's gonna mature over time, and it's gonna remain relevant. And that's what Undertaker was able to do for the whole time he was in the ring. And this generation of The Undertaker is probably my favorite. My second favorite is the gray and black Undertaker, the debuting Undertaker. But this Undertaker, when he came back with that and the cowboy hat and a leather jacket. That, to me, was the coolest version of The Undertaker. And speaking of which, I can't really say if this is a cowboy hat. Maybe it's more of an Undertaker hat. This is his trademark hat. Well, to put this hat on The Undertaker, of course, you put it on like any other normal hat. Put it right on there. And this is the complete Undertaker. I'm not sure if the hat's on backwards. Let me go and flip it around. Yeah, actually, I had it on the right way the first time. But, I mean, this version of The Undertaker is just my favorite. It's just, he looks so cool with that hat and that jacket. He's got that cowboy vibe. But very, very cool. And this Undertaker has a lot of great detail. If I take the hat out for a moment, I mean, you look at the face sculpt, like I mentioned earlier on, just really nicely detailed. He's even got the guy liner on there. Very cool. That's very signature of the Undertaker. He's got his Undertaker insignia on the side here. Lots of points of articulation. I know I mentioned over 30 points of articulation. You have toe articulation, ankle articulation, double jointed knee. You have boot articulation. You have thigh articulation here. You have hip articulation, waist articulation, midsection articulation. You have a butterfly joint in the shoulder. You have shoulder articulation, double jointed elbow. You have wrist. You have no finger articulation. You have ball socket joint for the head. There's a lot of points of articulation. So you could pose your Undertaker in various trademark poses that he's famous for. Very, very cool. I love the Ultimate Edition figures. I know I did get into a little bit of the Elite, but once you go Ultimate Edition, it's hard to go back. It's such a cool collector's line. I'm going to go and put the hat back on. It's just my favorite version of The Undertaker. I'm just so glad I got my hands on him. And I'm just very mystified that he's an exclusive. Because you'd figure with such a relevant version of The Undertaker, they would have released him in the main line. But nonetheless, I'm happy to have him. And he is a Target exclusive. So if you do see him on shelves, pick him up, man. Because he's going fast, and I've only seen him in one time on the shelf. Picked him up, and I've not seen him in any other Target, or I haven't seen him restocked. But if you guys found any of the information in this review valuable, please like and share this video. Also, if you really enjoy my content, please subscribe to my channel. And while you're there, click the bell to be notified of any future videos. I want to thank you guys for watching Red Steele's Toy Collector Review. I'll check you guys out next time.